business cards. Outlaw Radio business cards?
Like kind of like the C316 ones.
Business cards.
Like
you want your own like Spice Daddy business card? Anyway, hey, welcome to the Outlaw Radio Show. My name is Zach Adams.
Great intro, guys.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
by the book.
It was great. Don't care what he thinks. Again, welcome. My name is Zach Adams. I pastor a church located just outside of Athens, Georgia. The name of the church is Calvary 316. If you're local, come hang out with us one Sunday morning. If you're not local, but looking for a Bible teaching church that teaches verse by verse, chapter by chapter, that you can connect with in the digital space. We live stream our service. You can learn all about the church, links, all of that type of stuff by going to calvary316.com, church website. Or a quick link for our YouTube channel is calvary316.live. I am joined, as always, by the typical cast of characters. I got Spice Daddy, I got Dear Daddy, and I got Pope Creighton Vaughn. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing out there?
Explain how the show works.
So, you know what? Today, I don't think I know how the show works. That being said, the way the show works is we have a few segments that we're going to go through. Today, we have a Pepper Poppers and a Dear Daddy that we're going to be doing. Which
House of David review.
And the House of David review. And we talk about things from a Christian perspective. Sometimes they are specifically biblical things. Sometimes they are just things happening in the world. Sometimes things that used to happen but don't anymore, which is what we're doing today. Well, kind of don't anymore.
Say what?
Nothing. That will make sense if Zach was listening to me.
I wasn't. I was doing something else.
You were not. You were thinking.
I was thinking. Well, because this is your time to talk and my time to think.
Anyway, Outlaw Radio is brought to you by another podcast we do called Get Fed Today, which is 5 Bible studies every week. We post them on Mondays. They come from a variety of different pastors. It is a single podcast that you can go to and find thousands of Bible studies. And I say thousands. It's at
we're
like
getting
700.
Close. We're getting close.
Like 760,
Hundreds is what you're looking for.
Easy hundreds. Bible studies, if you want to increase the amount of time that you spend in the Bible every week, check out Get Fed Today, because one meal a week is not going to keep you fed.
And this week I noticed that a bunch of different new guys we've been adding.
One of our newer
Rob Silvato, who pastors Calvary Chapel in Vista, California, I think was on there. Ed Taylor, who is Calvary, I think Denver or Aurora. He's in Colorado.
Yes.
Ed's a great Bible teacher.
I'm pretty sure that this week was Ken Adams.
My uncle.
Who is my favorite Bible teacher's brother.
There you go, or uncle.
Brother.
I see what you did there. I see what you did. That was a low blow. How you doing, Dear Daddy?
Fantastic. How about you?
Doing great. Spice?
What's up, my little Pepper Poppers? Doing pretty good.
So, your X handle for people to follow?
Spice Daddy 316.
That's right. And Vinny, you're on X.
Yep, just Vinny Himes.
And I'm on X, Zach_Adams, which is where we're streaming in addition to YouTube and Facebook. We do want to announce our new X account, Pope Creighton. X.com/Pope Creighton.
Is this the thing you made an X account for Pope Creighton?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we have an X account for Pope Creighton. It is the handle is at Pope Creighton.
And it's already active and live.
And has been posted on. As of now, interestingly, Pope Creighton didn't know he had an X account.
No, I did not.
And but we've been having fun with it this week.
What does that even mean?
Why don't you go to x.com/Pope Creighton real quick?
All right.
I'm surprised. You know what?
X.
Maybe I'm not surprised that handle wasn't already taken.
It's awesome. No, I was like, it gave me a bunch of prompts. I was like, I'm just going Pope Creighton.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, because nobody in the world is named Creighton.
it's like I can't believe I had never thought of doing this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have followers.
That's mainly us, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Hey, you reposted Get Fed Today. You've liked to review Diesel. I mean, you're
my
active
good
on
golly.
the X sphere.
You guys are ridiculous. I am not a Twitter person, which is why I still call it Twitter.
You're not a twit?
I am not.
No, you were real close to a different word there.
You made an X profile. Am I going to be expected to be active on this?
And I made that was with the origins of the photo.
Oh yes, it is the current the current.
Your emoji.
Yes.
So follow him. That's
awesome.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
X.com/Pope Creighton. Easiest way to find, or just go to X and just search Pope Creighton. It's really easy to find. He probably has the most memorable handle of anybody. Like you had to throw in 316.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, like I had made one, and then I was like,
trying to
we
sign
started
into-
doing this.
Oh,
and
you
we-
can't sign into this. I have full control over it.
I'm trying to sign into anything with Google, and X is not letting me. So I can't even see. It just says hasn't posted yet.
I'm pretty sure
I think that's 'cause I'm not signed
you
in.
made me change my X
My goodness.
handle just to
I don't know. Oh yeah, just so it was consistent branding.
Yeah, consistent thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Holcomb 321297 wasn't like a great
Whatever.
handle. It's like, okay, that guy is not real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many letters, too many numbers.
Yes, for sure. So check out the
Oh my goodness.
so we're all on X.
We told you this was career changing.
Yeah. I think
This is.
you said this was going to be life changing.
Life changing. So we were teasing Creighton earlier, like that we all knew something he didn't know, and he was very determined that there was nothing involved. So yeah,
Turns out it was nothing.
You're on X.
I'm on X.
Yeah, and maybe it will give you access.
Big Elon.
That's
now
really the
has
big
my-
question: is should we give him access to the X account?
I think
or
what
should
are
we
you gonna
keep
do
this
with it?
Or should we keep this just us?
I think you should let Mabel run it.
I
you
think
gonna
we
do with it?
keep it until he gets enough followers to earn himself a blue check mark.
What if we
don't think
monetize?
you earn
What if we
blue check marks.
monetize that account and we just never told him?
Go for it.
Here's your
man.
retirement.
Sure. If we get the point.
All right.
Sure.
Well, hey, let's we're gonna pivot to a question. Dear Daddy, roll the intro, Creighton.
Out on the Montana plains where the big sky meets the land, dear Daddy stands with a Bible in a calloused hand. His heart is full of faith and his stories never end. He shares the wisdom from the range where wild rivers bend. He's roped the winds of doubt and tamed the storms of fear. With a prayer and a grin, he makes the truth appear. From the Bible's holy words to the lessons of the soil, he shares God's love with honesty and none can foil. Dear Daddy, oh dear Daddy, hear the crow cry. With your cowboy heart, you answer questions why. Faith and life, you guide us through the darkest night. Dear Daddy, shine your wisdom, lead us to the light.
That's big time. That's big time. All right, wait. We got a Dear Daddy. Dear Daddy's our segment where we ask Dear Daddy a question.
Dear Daddy.
Question from either the listeners, viewers, or Gronk. Tonight happens to be a question from Gronk.
Oh, nice. Brock and I are good friends.
It's interesting how you put parameters and you get really good. This is the question from AI
I'm ready.
to you, the human being. What's one lie about manhood the world keeps selling that you've had to learn the hard way? Ooh, I know. Fire. I'll repeat it.
Wow.
I'll repeat it. What's one lie about manhood the world keeps selling that you've had to unlearn the hard way?
And before that, if you have any questions for Dear Daddy, email us at popecreighton@gmail.com.
Or you can go to @Pope Creighton at X and go into the DMs and
Yeah.
just you can leave it there.
Please DM me, especially. Yeah, DM me.
Single
That sounds
ladies is
awesome.
where you're gonna go.
No, I was gonna go. If we're gonna use this, if you believe abortion is cool, tell me why. I want to know so bad. I don't get it.
We'll get to that in a minute. You got a shirt and a whole bit, but we're in Dear Daddy, and we got to cut this into its own
Yeah.
episode. The question, again, for the third time, what's one lie about manhood the world keeps selling that you've had to unlearn the hard way? Man, he's thinking. The gears are turning, and they're lubed by diesel fuel.
That you. So this is gonna sound weird. It's recently something that was a whole thing on Facebook with one of my friends, and he made a post where if somebody does you wrong, you never have to forgive them. You can just hold a grudge and like never talk to them again. And a whole bunch of my diesel friends and acquaintances jumped onto the post and were like encouraging it. And yeah, like that's a whole thing. Like nobody's going to screw me twice. But you can forgive people and still be manly, but you are not required to keep the people that you forgive in your life. Like you can distance yourself from toxic people and still forgive them. Like it doesn't, you don't, like Jesus did it. Like the rich young ruler. He said, get rid of everything and follow me. And he didn't. And Jesus was like, cool, I'm not mad, but I'm not going to hang out with you. And he distanced himself. So if you have toxic people in your life, you can forgive them and have peace in your heart rather than anger. But you don't have to continue chasing after a relationship with that person or those people. And so I think the worldview is, if you do me wrong, screw you, I'm never going to talk to you again. And that's toxic. Like holding on to that anger, that is a foothold for evil to creep into your life. Like get rid of the anger, forgive the person that you're upset with, forgive the people you're upset with, and then just move on with life. You don't have to keep trying to go back and have a relationship with toxic people.
I think that's a great answer. I'm gonna push you a little bit to the essence of the question, because I think what you said was spot on. But to the heart of this question is, so the world projects this concept of manliness, masculinity, and to be fair, the world projects masculinity in a very negative way. Machismo is not a word that's used in a complimentary way. It's often used in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, you're misogynistic.
Right. Like the world projects masculinity in a way. And then also like the counter influence world. Like that's like, screw the world. Okay, great example. Like you have guys like the Liver King, you know?
Yeah, right.
That are out there projecting this counter-revolutionary idea of masculinity, claiming to like restore true masculinity, restore like what really means to be a man. And you get like these, it's become like a branding thing, like big beards. What is it? The egg guy that's like eat all eggs, raw eggs. And like you have like this, the world also projects like a negative view of masculinity, and then there's like this counter-revolutionary thing. And you get into like MMA culture, the Tate brothers, like, you know, you get into a lot of these things. So like, it's very easy to see how men in this world can be very confused as to like, what does really being a man look like in your life? Has there ever been a thing regarding like the projection of masculinity that maybe you bought into and then you learned through experience that, you know, that actually isn't, like I bought the lie, but that's not really what being a man is.
Yeah. So when I found out I was having girls, I was like, you know, I'm going to be the dad that shows up when the boyfriend comes over and have the shotgun across my lap.
Right. That projection of, yeah.
And that happened to me and I didn't like it. And it very much made me disrespect the girl that I was dating at the time, her father. Like, I think he did it thinking he was going to intimidate me. And I was like, oh, you're a wimp. Like, you're pathetic.
Huh.
Like, the fact that you think you have to do that, like, I don't know, it
like, there's defending your daughter, but that's a projection of an image.
I have to show that I'm trying to hurt her honor or hurt her reputation first. So just to walk into the house and that was
interesting.
The stage that was set, it just made me lose all respect for the dude. Like I probably would have been really good friends with him if he hadn't started it off that way. And so watching my girls grow up, I decided to teach them to defend themselves so that I don't have to be the dad with the shotgun across my lap.
Yeah.
Like if I was either of my daughter's boyfriends, I would be more scared of my daughters than me.
Right. No, I get that for sure.
And so it's made it fun now that they are both dating and have boyfriends.
And you can start a relationship with who could potentially be
yes.
a son-in-law.
Yep.
with a different context, a different approach. Like, hey, you're going to respect me, but at the same time, like, I'm not here to intimidate you.
Well, and the other thing is, I like to earn people's respect rather than demand it.
And
And that's been, as a boss, as a business owner, you know, I will earn people's respect. I will attempt to earn people's respect, and then and the way that I do that is I outwork them. So if I hire a new employee, I outwork them. Like, I'll be there first. I'll shovel the snow off the lumber. I'll sweep the entire job site. When they show up at 7 or 8 o'clock, they're ready to go to work because I've already been there for an hour. So that's how I earn respect, is outworking everybody around me. Then if they choose not to respect me and they're just douchey, then you'll get the other side of me. But I always give people the opportunity to earn my respect rather than demanding it.
I think that's a fantastic answer. I appreciate that. I wanted to push a little bit deeper into just the essence of the question. And I'll say, it was a delight as a pastor. So I've known you for 12 years now, give or take.
Yep.
And in the course of that, you have a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old?
18 and 16.
I was close.
You were close.
Who I've seen since they were little.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
And it was very fun for me this Sunday. So this Sunday at church, we had a gumbo potluck, and Vinny got there early to help our brother JB do gumbo. But it was neat to see one of your daughter's boyfriends was out there helping you guys, you know?
Yep.
And the other daughter's boyfriend was sitting 4 rows deep with her. And it's like, that to me, like, now they might not marry those guys. Those guys might, but you set a tone with your daughters and those boys where it's like, this is a priority. And again, that's masculinity. Yeah. I'm gonna go to church with the girl. Hey, ladies, if that guy won't go to church with you, cut bait and run.
100%.
Not the guy. If they won't go to church with you, cut bait. If they go to church and they won't go to your church, that's a little bit more problematic, but they need to come to your church. Now you can go to their church, that's good. But like, there's an importance of your church community meeting the boy. And even more important than that, there's something I think very significant about the boy meeting the girl's church community. Because whereas like what Vinny's saying, he's not trying to create this dynamic right off the bat where it's an intimidation. I think it is important for a suitor, a boy, to see that this girl has like, okay, while dad might be nice, there is an entourage of men that can bury bodies.
Absolutely.
You know? Like that, like dad's playing it coy, but like he can make a call.
Right.
You know, and I think, again, and I'm not saying that like tongue in cheek. I think that there's something very important. There's something important to that. So for sure. Well, pivoting, tonight's episode is a topic that is toxic. It is often met immediately with confusion. And that's the idea of slavery. Immediately you say the word slavery, it's met with all types of like really negative connotations, justifiably so. And in the course of it, I think confusion, because as Americans in particular, we look at slavery through a very particular lens, which makes then what the Bible has to say about slavery, and then let's be real, what the Bible doesn't say about slavery, like more complicated, which we'll get to. I want to kind of tease just a little bit about slavery. I don't know if this is breaking news to you. Americans, even white Europeans, we did not invent slavery. It sounds like, Creighton, I know you're over there kind of smiling, but like that's like...
I have absolutely heard in the last week, I saw a video of a girl saying that slavery started in, what was it, 1619 or whatever? Like with America, we didn't invent it. We
might have participated in it.
We did it kind of really well. If you don't care about the people that we're destroying, we kind of did it well, but we did not invent it.
Well, we actually didn't do it as well as other countries.
Can't wait to find out.
So some interesting data about slavery. Fun topic, right? Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Can't wait.
We missed you guys. I mean, slavery goes back to the beginning, like the earliest writings of humanity record slavery. It's like you could really make the argument that the two oldest institutions in America and in the world history are prostitution and slavery. Like as long as there's been humanity, there's been prostitution and there's been slavery. There's been selling sex for money or goods, and there's been the buying and selling of people. Interestingly, slavery can be formally defined as the condition in which one human being is owned by another, deprived of liberty, and forced to work without meaningful compensation. Which, again, broadens, I think, most of our understanding of slavery. It is three things. It's when someone's owned by another, deprived of liberty, or forced to work without meaningful compensation. Slavery, Mesopotamia. Earliest written evidence of slavery appears in Sumerian cuneiform's early records. Egypt, ancient Egypt. Again, within even biblical stories, you had the Jewish people that were enslaved in Egypt. But aside from the Jewish people, Justin, maybe you can speak from an archaeological standpoint. I mean, slavery goes back as old as our documentation, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was a wonderful contribution.
Well, I don't know
Appreciate that. Yeah.
It's not.
I threw it to you, and you went, yeah, very much.
It's not something I've initiated and studied a whole lot, so it's not something I can just pull out of a hat and be like, oh yeah, I've read this about it.
You know what? We do a Dear Daddy episode where we give him unscripted questions.
I'm sorry I don't know about the entirety of the world's history and its peoples.
You're an archaeologist.
Very focused archaeologist. My master's degree is in biblical archaeology.
Oh boy, Spice Daddy. Ancient Greece. Ancient Greece. In fact, slavery was foundational to the ancient Grecian economy. In Athens, it's estimated that 30 to 40% of the population were slaves, mostly through conquering people groups and enslaving those that they took over. In fact, philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, which we base most of our thought processes, consider slavery natural, necessary. Quote, some were born to rule, others to be ruled. Ancient Rome, slavery. In fact, it reaches zenith. 40% of the population of the world was enslaved during the Roman Empire, which explains why the Bible, to be relevant, addresses slavery quite a bit within the New Testament context. China, India, slavery existed in large scale dynamics. Usually it was based in debt, war-based levels. But it wasn't like this was just Grecian or Roman. We have other parts of the world in which slavery was very much a thing. So it's like a global, like the whole idea is global. Keep that in mind. Slavery in Africa, again, contrary to popular opinion, existed before like European white people got involved. West Africa, slaves were captives, debtors, criminals. They worked in gold mines. East Africa, Swahili, Ethiopian highlands. Slavery predominated Islam in Africa, but was definitely heightened by it. Central Africa, the Congo, domestic slavery was commonplace. The Islamic world, so we're looking at like the 7th to 19th centuries. In fact, the Islamic slave trade was one of the largest and long-running in history.
Still is.
I thought you didn't know anything about this topic. Now you want to get involved.
You were talking about ancient history, and we're talking about modern history.
Oh,
two different things.
He got you there.
Trans-Saharan Indian Oceans. This is nuts. Between 650 and 1900. I mean, that's a big swath of time. But it's estimated that 10 to 18 million Africans were traded and enslaved by Islam from North Africa to the Middle East to India. East African slaves were shipped across the Indian Ocean. Many worked on plantations in South Iraq. Second to Haiti. So Haiti was the largest slave rebellion ever. Before that, in Iraq, the Zanj, Z-A-N-J rebellion, 1869, was the largest slave rebellion, and that happened in Iraq under Islamic rule. You can run through Islam. Yes, there's regulations within Islam regarding slavery, but it's not abolished, and as Spice mentioned, it's practiced today. And then you get to the European colonial transatlantic slave trade, 1500, 1867. Do you know the first country that began buying African slaves from African kingdoms? It was in 1440.
Probably be Portugal.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, he does know
He
something.
does. I knew that.
I was going to guess one of the weird countries like France or the Netherlands.
No, it was
They did
Portugal.
all kinds of weird
Portugal's
things.
like one of the weird countries.
Portugal was
That's
a big
true.
player back in the day.
It was.
Or not anymore.
It was. No.
Are they? I don't know anything about Portugal.
Spain immediately followed. 1526, first enslaved Africans arrived in what is now the U.S. You know where they first landed? Slaves in North America.
I would guess the Caribbean.
Virginia or...
Well, the Caribbean, we're talking about like North America, not the
North
Caribbean.
Probably Virginia or Savannah.
Neither.
Louisiana?
Nope. That's
New
a good
York.
guess because of the French.
New York.
Maryland?
Nope, not at all.
Maryland?
Nope. It was Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Spanish Florida.
I should have stuck with the Caribbean.
Yep.
You were close.
I was close.
Peak period 1700s to 1808. 80% of the 12.5 million Africans were shipped across the Atlantic. In total, 12.5 million destinations. So largest African to the Americas slave trade. What's the country with the largest number of slaves trafficked from Africa in the Americas?
That's
North and South and Central, Caribbean, all of it.
the
Brazil?
U.S.
Brazil, 4.9 million.
Brazil.
British Caribbean is then second.
Sugar plantations.
British Caribbean's 2.3 million. Then you have Spanish America, 1.3 million. French Caribbean, that's where you get your Haiti and other places, 1.1 million. North America is actually the lowest, with 389,000 slaves trafficked from Africa.
In the entire transatlantic slave trade,
Yes. Now here's
was only 300,000 Africans.
389,000. Now here's where this is where it changes though. So most of the life expectancy of slaves everywhere else was like roughly 7 years. So if you were in a Caribbean plantation, you did not survive very long. Again, and then South America, you had malaria, you had all kinds of diseases, and you weren't allowed to procreate very much. What made America different is while North America has the lowest number of transatlantic slaves, from 1619 to 1845, that number rose to 4 million because the U.S. enslaved population grew to be the largest because life expectancies were longer and they were allowed to procreate. So they went from 389,000 to 4 million because the Americas let them have babies. And those babies were also enslaved. So you were born into slavery, which made North American slavery a little different. You can go through like how then slavery, please note, Christians get blamed for slavery, which is moronic. You'll hear that across like the liberal world, Christianity and slavery. There would be way more slavery if not for Christianity abolishing slavery. Christianity, Wilberforce, it was Christianity and the great revivals of the late 1700s, mid 1800s that led to the abolishment of slavery, not just in Britain and across Europe, but then ultimately the Americas. So
much so that as a Southerner, the reason why England did not get involved in the American Civil War on the side of the South was because of the Christians.
And because of slavery.
Well, in lieu of slavery was bad. Like that's why. So if it had not been for the Christians, at least in England,
they wanted to see
interjecting-
America abolish slavery too. They were behind the abolitionist movement.
Right. And so England was on the verge of helping out the Confederate States of America, and they did not because the populace, the Christianity within England was pushing towards abolition.
Interesting.
I have heard.
That's why the French did support us, because while they abolished slavery in 1794, Napoleon reinstated slavery in 1802. And it wouldn't be abolished in France until 1848. So France had a different relationship with slavery versus Britain.
I have heard, and I've not done the research to prove this myself, but I've heard from people that I trust that every abolitionist movement in the world has started with Christians.
I think that would be absolutely true.
Every time that we have abolished slavery in a country, it is because Christians pushed to abolish slavery.
And let's also be honest about another like dirty part of the topic of slavery is the fact that it is estimated, and the numbers are hard to like really nail down, but today, like right now, that there are roughly 50 million slaves.
Yeah.
In the world. And that goes from North Korea to Saudi Arabia, Turkey, India, and again, within a broader definition of forced marriages, forced labor, debt bondage, human trafficking, those numbers, it could be much higher than that, depending on how you define things.
And we have them still in America.
Yes.
That's not just a thing in the crazy wild west of the world. Like we have them.
Which we'll get to. We'll get to America because, again, if slavery is the condition in which one human being is owned by another, deprived of liberty, forced to work without meaningful compensation, then I think the number of enslaved people in America would be like 90%, which we're going to get to. That's a bit of a tease for later. Before we continue on, House of David. So we've been doing House of David reviews. Second season has been, I think, pretty great. Interesting, my wife has struggled staying engaged and connected with it. Before I share thoughts, we're looking at, again, House of David, Amazon Prime, Wonder Project, Season 2. We're reviewing Episode 7. Before any of us share thoughts, I want to get Vinny. Vinny, what are your thoughts on the episode?
I really enjoyed it.
So the title was A Royal Wedding.
Yeah. It was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster because it's one part super romantic. He finally gets to marry the daughter that he wanted to marry, that he was actually in love with.
Michael, yes.
Yes. And then literally the day of the wedding, whisperings are happening and it just immediately falls apart. And so while that was frustrating and watching the episode, it's like you want to be so happy for David and Michael, and it's just like not happening.
Right. It's a short-lived enjoyment.
Yeah.
And the rug gets ripped out from under you. Just for context, and again, these reviews have spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, they do play part of the other story at work within the episode is so who is Samuel anointed to be king? Saul knows, Abner knows, Samuel has anointed someone but we don't know the identity. In a previous episode, we know that the patriarch of the tribe of Judah, he knows. He even tells Saul earlier on, he gives him a false name.
Has family murdered.
Exactly. So there's this storyline. Well, he ends up, David kind of takes a stand. I don't care what you think. And so this character goes to Ishbal, who's Ishbosheth, biblically, one of the other sons of Saul, gives him the identity. It's David. And so they kind of circle all the way back. You find out that Ishbal has been like traitorous. Like he's been pulling some things behind the scenes. He's been doing some things.
Tearing the family apart.
He's been doing things to kind of play he's playing his own cards to try to assume power. He ends up killing his wife, who I had, Dina.
Yep.
I kind of enjoyed her character, and then he pushes her out. It was like a big shocking moment.
Like you guys talked about how you didn't like that scene. I really enjoyed the scene because it was shocking.
It was shocking. There was a shock value. And
I had to like rewind it and like be like, whoa, what? Like I knew he was kind of a slime ball, but
yeah, the whole episode was like that. It's like like, oh, it's all romantic. They're getting married. And then it's like, oh my gosh, the wedding's falling apart. Like she won't even let him stay in bed with her. And
so you really when we got here, you were like, hey, awesome episode.
Yeah.
You really loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. It kept me engaged.
Before you got here, we were all like, hey, what do you think of the episode? Universally, what do we say, Creighton? No, not even that. I said worst episode of the both seasons.
It did not keep me engaged.
It's the only episode I've really watched. Like I usually zone out and end up like playing on my.
I was zoned out playing on my phone this entire episode.
That just was the opposite.
Yeah.
So I did not like the episode. It wasn't. It didn't do it for me. That being said, to give a fair criticism, I won't even say a fair criticism because it's not a criticism. This is more of an attempt to understand what they're doing. So there's two components to this. One is, so they already teased at the beginning of the season. It was the second episode, the beginning of the beginning of the second episode. They opened with the scene of David coming in, Saul saying, "Are you the Lord's anointed?" And did Samuel anoint you? And then David says, "No, God did." And he throws the sword.
See, that scene I really enjoyed.
Right.
Because when David goes, "No," I was like, lying's always a mistake. Don't lie, David. That's a bad idea. Why would they make David lie? And he goes, "God did." I was like, "Oh,
right."
And I was like, "Oh, I really enjoyed that scene. I really liked it."
So they gave you that tease, episode 2, first scene, indicating, again, following the pattern of how they did season 1, that coming back around to that scene, like that's kind of the bookends. So like just how season 1 began with David taking on Goliath. Then it goes back, tells us the story, and ends with David taking on Goliath. They gave us like the tease that that the season would end, like this season 2 would deal with this section of David's life from the victory over Goliath to him on the lamb. So him running from Saul. That would be the bookends. From the chronological standpoint of the Bible, I would have, like, there's nothing in the scriptures that say that David and Michal, like, that this all blows up on their wedding night. Like, that's not a biblical thing. At the same time, I mean, how much of this time period are you going to spend? Like, you have eight episodes. You're going to try to get to this point in time. I can at least understand the creative license, because I'm going to assume the next episode, as they probably go to Michal, David runs. Like they're going to get David on the run. They're skipping some things. But again, in the big story arc, like, you're picking and choosing. There's a bit of an editorial license. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. You're gonna jump in real quick.
Well, yeah, just because that scene was the only scene that like took me from looking at my phone to, whoa, what just happened?
That was the only scene?
Yeah, pretty much, this spear throwing thing. And because at that point I was just like, because we just got through at 3:16 going through this where Saul throws a spear at David runs.
It's like 3 times.
And he basically just gives up on Michal. And yes, I said it right.
It's Michal.
And
Dr. Karen Dodson agrees.
And that you're just like, how could you just throw away your wife like that? But once he did it on the night of the wedding kind of thing, that short time period of being married and that happening is just kind of like, oh, he hasn't been married long enough to actually understand what it means to be that husband.
It wasn't Twitter pated.
Yeah. It kind of like, it kind of all like made sense to me. Like the short-lived marriage and then this happening, all the rest of the consequences of that kind of made a little bit more sense.
That's completely fair.
I would actually disagree. I think that they have painted themselves into a bit of a corner. Because how do we go from this. If the next episode is David goes on the run, how do we go from there to Michael despising him and make it believable?
Well, I can answer that.
Please do, because I feel like that's going to come off. Because I mean, she has to. There's a whole lot of character growth that has to happen.
I will play
her and David.
I will play that out.
Okay.
From a biblical standpoint.
Please do.
So, David flees because his life is under threat. Michael, when confronted, lies. She was part of him escaping, but she'll later lie about it and put the blame on David, which was a terrible mistake on her part. David's on the run. There's no connection between the two of them from a biblical standpoint, which is interesting to me because David does have contact with Jonathan. Mm-hmm. And then the next time there's this interaction.
And he did in that episode too. As he was on the run, he ran into Jonathan on the road. And Jonathan's like, "What are you doing out here? You just got married."
You must be in episode 8.
I think you might have watched the next episode because I have not seen the scene that you're talking about.
I have not seen that scene.
Oh, my bad.
I have not seen that scene. Haven't gotten there yet. But the so David flees, and Saul will give Michael to another man. Mm-hmm. And she'll be married to another man while David's on the run for quite a bit of time. And it seems as though that there's at least a genuine relationship, because when David later on comes to the throne and he's trying to put pieces together, he tells Abner, like, "You're only coming back if you bring my wife with you." So Abner like shows up and like, "Dude, you got to give her."
Oh, that's right. And just steals her.
And just like, and he's like crying, like, "Please don't." And Abner's like, "Dude, you're going to die if you don't just turn around and go home." Like, he takes her. And then Michael shows up, and guess what? David's got 2 wives at this point. So you can see how that plays itself out.
No, you're right. That does.
Yes.
I was thinking you would need to do more to sour their relationship prior to him going
Let me
on,
give you the second point quickly, to be fair. So I soured on the Ishbal storyline. I didn't like it at all. But to be fair, it did get me to ask it an important question. And I have taught through all of this recently. I'm still in the life of David.
Yeah.
It's very fresh. The way that the episode worked forced me to ask a question I had not asked or considered in the story up until this point. And I had to go back and do some studying to see if I was wrong on it. And I learned something. So I will give the episode credit for this. Let me ask you guys. We know the story. David's a shepherd boy. God has removed his anointing from Saul. Samuel was instrumental in that. Samuel goes to Bethlehem, goes to the house of Jesse. Samuel anoints David. Does Saul know that? No. Nobody knows that David's been anointed other than Jesse, his brothers, and Samuel. That's it. Now, people know that Samuel came to town, sure. I mean, it's a small community. That might have been known. And we do know that later on, there is a predicate. There's a reason that Saul's throwing spears at David and wants to kill David, right? Because Saul, at least by chapter 22 of 1 Samuel, realizes that Samuel has anointed David to be king. And we know that because word gets that David has fled to Samuel, and the priests, Doeg is a part of that, and a whole bunch of priests die. But it is then that, like, the moment that David flees to Samuel, it's become clear to everybody involved that David was anointed by Samuel to be the replacement. Saul knows that the kingdom has been taken and given to another. That's all he knows. We know Samuel's given it to David by anointing. Here's the question. I know that was a big lead in. When is the moment that Saul knows that David is the next anointed king?
I cannot answer that. I have no idea.
I mean, I would say when he marries his daughter.
Nope.
He throws a spear at him.
Nope. Here's the interesting thing. You go back to 1 Samuel and you read through it again. The text doesn't tell you when Saul concludes that David has been anointed to be his replacement. At no point. Now by chapter 22, which David is now already on the run, it's confirmed. Like by that point, tea leaves have been lined up. But there's never a moment within the text. Why does he throw spears at David? Is it because he knows that David is the next anointed? Or is it because he's a crazy person throwing spears at all kinds of people? Like, the text insinuates that there might be a sense within Saul that he recognizes God's hand on David. I mean, David did take on Goliath. But at no point, if Saul knew that David he would never let his daughter marry him. Like he's giving him access to the throne. He's included him in the courts. So, to be fair, and I'm on the record, I don't like the episode. But what they have creatively decided to do, which, again, I got to be okay with, is they are providing an answer to an unanswerable question. How does Saul know that David's been anointed? Or how does he even get to the point he asked David to then throw a spear at him? Is that somebody in the tribe of Judah witnessed Samuel coming, knows who it was, and now has equipped another son of Saul with the information that puts Saul over the edge and blows it all apart. Now, none of that's biblical. None of it's biblical. But they are at least working within a framework of creative license that I can be okay with. That makes sense?
Yep.
I mean, I had to kind of work through that.
Yeah, because when he was sitting there whispering to everybody at the wedding, that's when I went back and read it, and none of that's in there. And so I was like, well, they took a little creative license with that, but
oh yeah, all of that for sure.
It makes so much sense.
Again, they're not. And okay, so Creighton came in. We were talking the Ishbosheth storyline. You didn't get, but then when you get further down, when Saul, Jonathan die in battle, David is now right. Like the kingdom gets split for 2 years. Like David only becomes king of Judah in Hebron. The other tribes rally around Ishbosheth because Abner backs Ishbosheth. So like them laying the framework of Ishbal, maybe in cahoots with some other people groups or however that works. Again, you dig a little deeper. Like my first reaction, worst episode. The more I think about it and unpack it, I still don't like the episode. But, story development, you could come back and be like, this is a pivoting episode.
We say worst episode, but I think that this being the worst episode actually speaks very highly of the rest of the season. Because it's not a terrible episode, but it is the worst episode of the season. If we're talking like it's the worst episode, watch the show because the show is very good.
It's great. The show's great.
This is the worst episode of a very good season.
I think, Creighton, I appreciate...
Do you know what I mean?
I appreciate you saying that because, again, this is a review of House of David. We would not be spending any time reviewing episodes of a show if we didn't really like the show.
Agreed.
Yeah, for me,
this is fantastic.
For me, by worst episode, it means like every other episode has captured my attention for the majority of the episode.
Yeah.
This one did not. And that's what I mean by worst episode. Not that meaning that it was terrible. I just...
By worst episode, I'm saying it's better than everything else I watch because it's in the Bible.
Right.
Like, again, like we are being negative. but we're being negative within the context, that hands down, watch House of David before you watch any other crap on TV. Yeah. This is better than anything you watch on HBO.
And then watch Zach's sermons on c316.org. TV.
Thanks for at least nailing the website.
Dude, you got so many. Churchofthedumb.com.
Tithe.es.
Tithe.es. What other ones do we have out there that lead all back to the same website?
Outlawchurch.org.
Right.
Outlawchurch.com.
Go to any of those and you'll be able to see the episode.
If you type in anything.org.com, it's going to go to Calvary 316.
My favorite might be CalvaryBethlehem.com. Yep. So back to the topic, we're dealing with slavery. This is one of the things that gets complicated. Again, the idea that Christians are responsible for slavery is just, it's nonsensical. It's not historical. It's ignorant, actually. It's stupid. Like, you just ruined your argument. Not to say that Christians haven't been culpable with stupid things. I'm from the South. I get it. But where things do admittedly get convoluted, to say the least, with regards to the Bible. So slavery in the modern mind is non grata, unacceptable, evil. And that becomes a problem because you look at the Bible with the topic of slavery, and the Bible never actually condemns slavery. Just a few examples. Old Testament. Leviticus 25, verses 44 and 26, deals with how you deal with female and male slaves. Now, I will say that the Bible uniquely, within a cultural context, is completely unique in the sense that, especially in its time, was revolutionary regarding how the world dealt with slaves, because it gave slaves protections, certain liberties, freedoms. It placed restrictions on how masters treated slaves. Like, it was, again, Leviticus, you deal, like, it's almost like the slave's Bill of Rights. Like, it acknowledges that this is a human thing. This happens in humanity, and it's going to happen in Israel. But it sets very hard parameters on what is acceptable and what isn't. Exodus 21, when you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve for 6 years, and the seventh he shall go free for nothing. It's like, you could be enslaved for all kinds of reasons. You could be enslaved if you were conquered. You could be enslaved if you owed a debt you couldn't pay. There were all kinds of economic parameters. Exodus 21, Deuteronomy 23, you shall not give up to his master's slave who has escaped from his master to you. He shall dwell with you. You shall not wrong him. Meaning that escaped slaves were to be sheltered and not returned. Again, revolutionary, rare protection in the ancient world. This is in Deuteronomy. Admittedly, again, we've already acknowledged that from Greek society to Roman society, when Paul is writing his epistles, 3/4 of the population that Paul is probably writing to are slaves, which is why so much of the writings deal with masters and slaves. Again, there's no attempt to abolish slavery within the scriptures. You have Philemon, which is an entire book encouraging a slave to go back to the master, a letter to the master, and how to treat the slave. And again, that rubs people the wrong way because we have this concept of slavery I don't think is actually really accurate and fair. Not justifying slavery, but let's be real. Ephesians 6. Bondservants, obey earthly masters without fear and trembling. It doesn't rebel, kill the slave owner. No, it's obey. Fear and trembling. Masters, though, do the same to them. And stop your threatening, knowing that he was both their master and yours is in heaven. And there's no partiality with him. Colossians 2:32, bondservants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters. Masters, treat your bondservants justly and fairly. 1 Peter 2:18, servants, be subject to your masters with all respect. And not only be good and gentle, but also just. Philemon, again, Paul sends a runaway slave, Onesius, back to his master Philemon. The book is named after a slave owner, Philemon. Galatians 3:28, there's neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free. We're all one in Christ. 1 Timothy 1:10. Enslavers talks about contrary doctrine. 1 Corinthians 7. Paul will refer to himself as a slave of God, which again is complicated because when you look at the Bible doesn't abolish slavery, but it speaks to something else deeper and much greater, and I would even say more relevant. And so with that in mind, that's what we're about to get to. I'm going to talk about slavery because I think most of you are enslaved. I think most of Americans are enslaved within the definition of slavery. We don't think of it this way, but here's the question. Are you really free? Because if you're not free, then you're a slave. And the Bible never abolishes slavery. It just speaks to a greater enslavement. And we'll get to all of that. But the moment you've all been waiting for. Pepper Poppers, our Christmas Carol edition. Creighton, run the intro.
Turn it up, it's time to get poppin'. Just a Spice Daddy ho, couldn't no stoppin'. Diving into Christian pop with flair. Movies, books, and faith beyond compare. From the big screen to the pages we read, he's got a spice to fill your every need. With a like and grin, he brings the heat. Pepper Poppers, yo, it's the ultimate beat. Pepper Poppers, spice it up, let's go. Justin's breaking down a Christian show. Movies, books, and faith, he's got the vibe. Spice Daddy's here to keep it live. Pepper Poppers feel the fire, so true. Pop with purpose, he's talking to you.
5 for Justin.
Pepper Poppers, Pepper Poppers, Pepper Poppers.
What's up, my little pepper poppers? Welcome back to another episode of my top 10s. This time, this series, we're doing my top 10 favorite Christmas carols because it's my favorite time. Before we get to that,
Wait a second.
Yeah.
No, we can't get to that.
No, we can't. No,
Pope
we can't.
Creighton,
no,
this is
we
your
can't.
moment.
My goodness.
This is your moment.
Before we started the episode, you know what conversation we were having? We are doing a Christmas Carol outreach
Can't wait.
for our church. In Zach's neighborhood, where we're
going Christmas
where we
caroling.
are doing this show in the neighborhood. We're doing this show. We are going Christmas
As a
caroling.
church, Christmas caroling.
As a church, and you know what Spice Daddy said to me?
Real quick, you happen, while you're Scrooge McDuck,
I do not like Christmas.
if you want to follow him at
excited.
Pope Creighton,
I am
at X
excited
at Pope Creighton.
for Christmas caroling
you love Christmas caroling.
because you're sharing the gospel through song with the people. Justin hates Christmas caroling. You're doing your top 10 Christmas carols. You hate Christmas caroling?
He's watching a Christmas movie every night since Thanksgiving.
You know
And
what Christmas movies have?
Christmas carols.
Of course they do.
You know what it has? Christmas,
And
Jesus.
you know what it doesn't have?
My goodness.
Justin sounding like a coyote in a trash compactor.
This
trying
is
to sing to other people.
ultimate betrayal.
I have 3 words for you. 'Tis the season.
You know
what else is not good? It's not just the Christmas carols. Fraud.
Eggnog.
Fraud. Eggnog. How do you claim to love Jesus, baby
And
Jesus,
Christmas.
Because my family never did eggnog. I never got to know
is
eggnog.
crazy.
Don't blame your parents. They're watching. What an insult.
What an
You know
what a
what?
betrayal.
What
know
a
what?
betrayal.
You know what?
So,
I shouldn't
Christmas
do
fraud.
this because
My
you're related,
goodness.
but I'm going
Yeah.
to because I like her book a lot. This episode of Pepper Poppers is once
It's his only
again
way out.
sponsored by one of my favorite authors and one of my favorite Christmas time books, an Amazon Christmas, which you can find on Amazon Prime. Get it today, give it as a gift, read it yourself. It's great. There's no singing involved. You can listen to Christmas carols and enjoy them, but that doesn't mean you have to sing them to other people.
Yeah, all right, Justin, let's get to your top 10 list of Christmas carols that you won't sing to bring the gospel to other people. Go
And
for it.
before
Actually, we should get some sort of hot sauce.
Right, and before that, a little update on. Last time I did this, I gave an update, or I told you about a a couple friends of mine that I know that were shot.
Yes, tragedy.
Yes, one of them is out of the hospital. One of them
that's
should
great.
be leaving the hospital soon.
That's great. A lot of recovery ahead, though, right?
A lot of recovery ahead. They their brother has started a GoFundMe. If you want a link to that, you can find it on my X. I post
At Spice Daddy 316.
At Spice Daddy 316. It's pinned to the top of my my X account. You can find that there if you'd like.
We
to
might
get to that.
pin that on the top of at Pope Creighton.
That would be cool. Yeah,
Sure,
that'd
go
be
for it.
cool. They're cool people. They listen to our show.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
And so before we get,
So you got an early Christmas gift.
I did, and Zach and I might. Post
It's really
it.
Jessica.
I might also post this.
A picture. I sent you a picture.
Yeah, Zach sent me a video also.
No, you're not posting that. After this segment, I'll fill you guys in on it.
Yeah. So they were coming back. They went to the airport.
We're coming back from Portland.
Yeah, and I'll let you tell it because you know more about it.
So
than I do.
like we had gone to a few different like niche touristy tic-tacky places in Newport. We're in Oregon for Thanksgiving. My grandmother, we were going out for Thanksgiving. But the problem with buying like liquid is the airport. You know, so it was like we saw some hot sauces. We thought Spice Daddy would like them, but we had to pass because we had to go through the airport. So we get to the airport super early because I have anxiety traveling, and it's Friday after Thanksgiving, and we're like 2 hours away from the airport. I'm like, well, we got to leave. We got to give ourselves plenty of time. Not a single bit of traffic on the way to the airport, and we walk through TSA, not a single person. So we're at the airport like 2.5 hours early, which for me was no big deal because I got college football and headphones, and it's like, cool. Jessica, Mabel went on a excursion walking through the airport, checking out all these knickknacks shops, and they come around the corner and Jess motions for me, and there is in this place a wall of hot sauce, and it's duty free because we can carry it now on the plane. So early Christmas gift to Spice Daddy.
Yeah, and you know what?
A bunch of hot sauces.
I've really been impressed with
You can
Jessica's.
see it all right over his shoulder.
I've really been impressed with Jessica's hot sauce picking skills. We were at the beach, and she's like, "Do you need anything from the grocery store?" I was like, "Exotic local hot sauce." That's the only instructions I gave her, and she nailed it.
She's a keeper.
She is. You got lucky with that one.
You have no idea. You have no idea. That's
Anyway.
another episode.
Picked up this hot sauce.
You didn't pick it up. It was gifted.
I know you guys picked it up. I've never had it before. First time I'm tasting it. Don't know how spicy it is. Don't know anything about it.
Hold it up. Explain it.
It's called Hab sauce. It's a Serrano tequila verde sauce. It, judging by the ingredients list, looks excellent.
We seem to have done pretty well.
Consistency. I know nothing. Haven't smelled it.
Here, let me see
nothing.
it. Let me see it.
I love a verde sauce.
Okay, let's do like again. It's a
Right,
small
get a-
sample bottle.
Small sample bottle.
But we brought brought communion cups from the church,
so
we could all taste.
right.
And Vinny poured the communion cups, clearly.
Yes, we got plenty of.
I got no quit in me.
So what's great about this is you guys get to enjoy this along with me, and
This is new. This is Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To me, let's
I've never
get
had a bad time tasting
Wait,
hot
wait,
sauce.
wait, do we
I
do
gotta
this
re-
first?
I
Do we
gotta
do-
re- I need a recap. I haven't done that
Recap
yet.
before we.
All right, so number 10, I had God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
God rest ye merry gentlemen.
Number 9, Hark the Herald Angels
Hark
Sing.
the herald angels.
Number
sing.
6, O Come All Ye
Oh,
Faithful.
come all ye faithful.
Let's see.
Joyful and triumphant, oh come, ye oh come.
No, I meant
running out
number
lyric.
7, not number 6.
Oh,
All right, number 7 was I Heard the Bells.
I heard the bells.
Number 6 was Joy to the World.
Joy to the world.
Number
the
5 was
Lord
Go
is
Tell It
good.
on the Mountain.
Tell it on the mountain.
So today I am doing numbers 4, 3, and 2.
Ooh.
This
All right, shot first, right?
yeah. Shot first.
Shot.
Yeah, that's right.
For clarity, hot sauce.
Whatever.
Ooh, got good spice to it too.
That is magically delicious.
Good job. I let Creighton pick that one out.
That's a good one.
I was like, I don't know which one to
I told
get.
you, verde sauce is awesome.
This was a perfect level for what I'm going for next. My 4,
Boom!
3, and 2.
That's the Lord.
Yes, it is. God wills it.
Davis Volt.
All right, number 4. This is
I like
one.
your piece of paper, by the way.
Thank you.
You're
I
getting more professional.
got inspired by you.
I appreciate that.
Number 4. This is one I kind of went over my list with you, and you had never heard of this one before.
Oh, I can't sing it.
Yep, it's called "Come Thou Long Expected Jesus." It is. I first heard it. I've heard it a few times with my goings, but there's a metal version of it that I really like.
How does it go?
Come Thou Long Expected Jesus.
And you can't Christmas carol? Are you
My
kidding
goodness,
me?
that was fantastic.
We just got your Christmas caroling.
I mean, that took note. That took.
That was not bad at all.
You know what?
That was beautiful.
Running up and down the
You know
line.
what? If I get. No, I shouldn't promise this. I shouldn't promise it at all.
No, you should. Go for it.
No, I was going to say if I get to 100 followers on X, then I would put out a Christmas album.
Done.
Done.
No, it's probably not going to
100
happen.
followers. Make it happen, guys.
Yeah.
Real followers, not bots. Because I went through and I
So,
deleted
Spice
a
Daddy
bunch of them.
316.
Anyway,
Done.
number 4, great carol. If you've never heard it, I wish we'd do it at church. I sent you a link to it. Anyway, it was written in 1744 by our man Charles Wesley, a prolific hymn writer. Anyway,
Good old Chuck.
yeah, he put in a small pamphlet titled "Hymns for the Nativity of Our Lord" in 1745.
Do you think his friends called him Chuck West?
I would, if I was. His
I
buddy.
would have.
Yeah.
I mean, Charles Wesley is real refined, but his buddy, what's up, Chuck West?
Anyway,
Chuck West is a
he
writer.
wrote it during a time of social upheaval and
It's his hip-hop
poverty in
name.
England. The second stanza starts out with
What's the name of the carol?
Come Thou Long Expected Jesus.
Oh, we're still on that one. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we had moved to another one.
No. The second stanza says, "Born thy people to deliver," and I just love the expectation that most people have of being delivered from strife and things like that, even in modern day times of bad times and things happening. You're just like, I need somebody to come save me. That's what this exhibits.
You know, I think that's a great example of what I love about Christmas carols and why I think sometimes we pigeonholed carols into just like Christmas when like they're hymns. It's the theology and the concepts behind them shouldn't be relegated to just like a particular made up season of life. Like,
Right.
they're deep things. That's why, like, we'll do our buddy Andy, he'll do I Heard the Bells, and there's like one line on Christmas Day. That's it. We'll do that in July, you know?
And it's my favorite carol.
And that's what's cool about this hymn. It combines the Jesus has already come and then Jesus is coming. And that's what Christmas is. That's what I love about the Christmas carols.
That's what Christmas is all about.
And the
It
fact that preterists shouldn't be celebrating the holidays.
Right.
I love it.
All right, number 3.
Preterists who saw that coming today.
Nobody.
Number 3.
Number 3.
I love it. Carol of the Bells.
Carol of the Bells. I don't know how to sing that one either. How does that one go?
I don't know any of the words to Carol of the Bells. I only know it from the August Burns Red cover.
How does that go?
It's all electric guitars.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
dun. Bum, 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 bum,
Yeah,
bum, bum, bum,
there we
bum,
go.
bum, dun, 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 dun,
I'm
dun,
pretty sure we
dun,
got
dun,
some
dun, dun.
requests last time of
That's
a
like-
Zach Christmas
That's
album.
like ding, fries done, ding, fries done, ding,
Yeah,
fries
that's
done.
pretty
That's the
much
Carol of the Bells, yeah.
I work at Burger
All right,
King.
so
I work at Half Bells. I work
You go
paper.
through, and
Skin
before
grass for
doing this
fun.
list, I think I said this last time, I'd never actually looked into the history of these hymns. And it's pretty cool looking into these. This was actually a Ukrainian hymn that was not originally a Christmas hymn. It was a traditional song sung in Ukraine around the New Year's times. I was just waiting for the boss to finish. Anyway, the American adaptation of this was where we got the English lyrics. It came in 1936-ish, I would say, by Peter J. Wilhusky.
You mispronounced that, I'm sure.
I probably did. Anyway, this is where we got the English lyrics to it, and it transitioned from being a New Year's song to a Christmas song.
I
And
can see that as a New Year's.
So number 2.
that was number 2. Oh, Holy Night.
Oh, holy night. That's all I got.
This was originally a French title called Cantique de Noël.
The star.
It was a poem written in 1843.
1843.
1843 is written as a
That was
poem.
a hot minute ago.
It was. And in 1855, it transitioned to the American discovering new lyrics by John Sullivan Dwight.
Was it Oh Holy Night because they were looking up at the stars and they thought the stars were holes in the canopy of the sky?
I'm not sure.
What? In all seriousness, I think "Oh Holy Night" is one of the songs that's hard for me to imagine a world where it didn't exist.
That's a very weird statement to make.
But it really hasn't been that long ago.
Right? It's only been since 1843. You said
Not even 200
1843
years.
is the poem, but in the American lyric stuff, a song Christmas lineup, 1855, and that's when the English lyrics translation
And that's up there with
stuff
Silent
came.
Night. Oh Holy Night.
First
Silent
song,
Silent Night's another one where it's how does the world exist without?
Night. I mean,
Silent
I would say
Night?
the only other thing I'd put in context of that,
Jesus.
no, would be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
How do you imagine a world without that?
First time it was ever played on the radio was 1906. And then it didn't really rise to popularity till
This Pepper Poppers.
yes, Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, and different opera singers.
It was this Pepper Poppers that put it
That
on
really
the map.
put "Oh Holy Night"
Yeah.
on the map.
It was it was real low, and
know
now
what?
it's taken off.
You know what's great? The next one, I'm gonna get the hottest hot sauce possible, and Zach won't even be
We've
able.
already done that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It was
No, no, no.
miserable for everybody.
Yeah, but Zach
Except
didn't-
for Vinny.
Zach
right
doing it.
before
Zach
coughing
didn't
his
do
head
it.
off, he goes, "That has nice flavor."
But Zach didn't do it that last time, and if he has it and he can't breathe at that point, he can't see through my
Listen, I've gone through a season of not breathing. We're not going back. We're not going back there.
Thank you, my little pepper poppers. Until next time, we'll see you later.
All right. So wrapping up the topic, slavery. Are you really free? I mean, that's kind of the question. And if you're not, then what does that mean? Interesting. We are in the season of shopping, not just the Christmas season. Thanksgiving. Thankful for independence. Thankful for freedom. And what do? We go out in the middle of the night. We spend a bunch of money we don't have. Literally. That's what we do. Black Friday. Like, we call it Black Friday. There's few things we call black something. The Black Plague. It's never a good thing to call it black. U.S. consumers, this is crazy. Black Friday this year, and this is by Adobe Analytics, U.S. consumers spent a record, blows my mind, $11.8 billion on Black Friday this year, November 28th. That's up 9% from 2024. Cyber Monday, which was 2 days ago, set a new record as the biggest online shopping day in U.S. history with $14.25 billion in online spending. That is a 7.1% increase from last year.
And it's bigger than Black Friday.
Yes. For context, the full Cyber Week, so that's Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday, saw a $44.2 billion online sales, which is up 7.7%. On average, for the American consumer, that means the average American spent $338. That's insane. Now, there's a few ways to view that. You can say, oh, well, the economy's better And no matter what the liberal media is saying, Trump's made some adjustments, good stuff, good things happen, good trending. Be careful. I didn't really know that this was a phrase, or at least an acrostic. Have you ever heard of BNPL? You ever heard of
P&L?
BNPL? It's a metric.
Oh, buy now, pay later?
Buy now, pay later. On Cyber Monday, again 2 days ago, U.S. consumers spent a record $1.03 billion, not of their money, but using buy now, pay later services.
That's pretty much what I did with my college degrees.
We'll get to that. The problem is you can't pay later.
Right.
This is the first time in history, human history, any single day, that has surpassed $1 billion in BNPL spending. 7.2% of Cyber Monday's total $14.25 billion spent online, 7.2% was buy now, pay later, meaning you're buying it on credit. 79.4% of those transactions occurred using a mobile device.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Which is bonkers. B&L drove $10.1 billion in U.S. spending from November 1st to December 1st. That's not a 9% increase from last year. Meaning that, yeah, a lot of people spend a lot of money on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but like a pretty significant percentage of those people borrowed it.
Which went into debt for it.
They didn't spend their money on it. A little research, average U.S. debt. And this is based on Q3 and Q4 2025 data, which Q4 2025 is not over. So this is the most recent data available. Do you know how many, on average, how many Americans, and per borrower, the average credit card debt per person in America?
Oh, I think it might be like $10,000 or something. Which
average credit card debt per person
makes me
per
sweat.
borrower.
No idea.
I can see your paper from here,
okay.
so I don't want to cheat.
It's $6,700. However, that includes people like myself, because I use my credit card for everything I buy because I get cash back. American Express, I have a year of insurance. Like my dad lost a pair of glasses in the ocean called American Express. They refunded it. Like there are reasons you can use a credit card, but I pay my balance off in full every month. I've never had interest hit my credit card. The $6,700 include people like me, which is not a great metric. If you exclude people like me, and so you're just counting people
who carry a balance,
who are carrying a balance, which on average, you know what the average APR balance on a credit card is?
APR or balance?
No, the APR, your interest.
17%?
Not 17.
No, it's like 25 now.
22%.
Good Lord. Yeah, it's rough.
22% interest payment on your credit. You know the people that carry a balance, how much they have. You're closer to your 10,000 number. It's $9,326. Outstanding credit card balance in America is $1.23 trillion. Auto loan. Do you know per borrower account, Americans? Do you know how much people owe on their car right now?
20,000.
You're close.
25.
$24,300 is the average auto loan.
That.
Well, yeah, a new truck is
average
$90,000.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that means that there's an outstanding balance on auto loans, which are not recoverable with bankruptcy. So it's like a ledger on the economy. Same with credit card debt of $1.66 trillion. Student loan.
Oh my goodness. So I only went to college for a year, and I took half of the loan and my parents took half of the loan, and I paid mine off at like 8 or 9 grand.
Did your parents?
Yeah, they've also paid off theirs.
Do you have this broken down into bachelor's degree, undergrad, and grad?
No, just universal.
Okay.
100 grand.
No.
If it's just under, the average person is just going to get an undergrad. My guess is about 50,000, 60,000.
It's between $38,800 and $39,100.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's everyone.
That's everyone.
That's everyone. and you can break it down to like 90% are federal loans. Mm-hmm. And there's a small percentage, 10%, that's private loans. What's crazy about the federal loans, bankruptcy doesn't get you out of them.
Yep.
They are tethered to you for all of eternity.
Yep.
And there's certain predicates that could be passed on to your children or at least handed back to your parents.
That is the craziest thing.
Yes.
Because for like basically all other loans other than federal student loans, if you die,
they're gone.
they're gone.
Not a student
loans
loan.
get passed either up or down, or can get passed up or down.
That accounts for $1.65 trillion.
Yeah, I definitely feel lied to by the boomers saying if I got a college degree, then I could get a job. Didn't happen.
Now, I will say this about everybody talking about student loan forgiveness. We need student loan forgiveness. Let me back up for a moment. Outstanding balances of student loans in America is $1.65 trillion. We want to forgive loans. The outstanding balance of auto loans is $1.66 trillion. So you might as well just forgive all your auto loans too. It's a massive amount of debt. And then you got mortgages, which the average holding mortgages is $252,500, which accounts for $13.07 trillion, which is also an insane amount of money, which is how you get a market crash, because those are also bankruptcy. I can walk away. People are left holding stuff, et cetera, et cetera. At least there's property involved. My point, if you go back, slavery, the condition in which one human being is owned by another, deprived of liberty, and forced to work without meaningful compensation. Are you free? We want to talk about slavery in a negative context. You are enslaved to your credit card bill, your mortgage payment, your auto loan. And guess what? They come after you if you don't pay it, meaning you're working a job for whatever you can get to pay the man. We talk about slavery in this crazy concept, but like American slavery, you're given a place to live, food to eat, place for your family, health care. It might have been crap, but mine's crap. My point is like, let's forget the pretentiousness. Everyone is a slave. Everyone is a slave. I put slavery in the world to 100%. Elon Musk is a slave to something. Bob Dylan famously wrote, "Everybody serves somebody." What does that mean? It means everyone's a slave to something or somebody. So when you look at the Bible and what the Bible says about slavery, the Bible is just acknowledging a fact that everyone's a slave, which is why through that lens, you look at then what the Bible says of slavery. Well, to like your earthly masters, give what they owe. Be honest, be fair, be respectful. If you are a debt holder, the Bible gives exhortations, lend, be kind, be fair, be equitable. But make no bones about it, like slavery is a part of the human condition. Everyone is a slave to something. But then that's why the Bible then talks about, like, what is liberty? Liberty is not freedom from servitude, because everyone's a servant to something. When the Bible talks about liberty and freedom, it's freedom to choose what I serve. That's the difference. So when Paul will write and describe himself in multiple letters as being a bondservant of Jesus, he's saying, I'm a slave. I am a slave. But I've chosen who I'm a slave to. I've chosen to be a slave of Jesus, a servant of Jesus. And then that's true freedom. Freedom is not like freedom from authority. It's freedom to choose what authority you submit to, which is a totally different thing. Hey, the practical things, work to be out of debt. Try to be a slave to no man but Jesus. But like, within the episode, I wanted to dispel this crazy notion that I won't even say that slavery is a bad thing. everyone's a slave. There's only one king, only one ruler, only one master. I'm a slave, and I don't see that as a negative. But I'm a slave of Jesus. I do what he wants. I pursue what pleases him. It's a different way of thinking. Guys, thoughts? We'll start with you, Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, you brought that full circle, and
did you see me go in that direction?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, and we're 100% not free. I mean, we don't even make enough money to own a car, other than unless it's just a old wore out piece of junk that's got constant problems. And then
hey, be easy to my 2007 Nissan Titan.
Hey, it's newer than my 2005.
Even then, what's crazy is you can buy your house. Do you own it?
No.
You have to pay property tax.
Right.
You might own your house. You don't own the land on it.
No, and you can't do what you want to do with it. If you want to build a shed out back, you have to get a permit, and then they can tell you no. So, I mean, yeah, we're not.
Don't even get me in an HOA.
Right. No, 100%. We are not free, and we do not live in a free country.
And I think, but like as Americans, we get real riled with that because like we're the home
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the mantra.
Yeah.
And like we like there's something baked into our DNA as Americans. Like we rebelled against England because we wanted to be free. We weren't free.
No.
What did we want? Well, America was founded on by the people for the people. Like America wanted the freedom to choose who would rule us, who would represent us. Like, that's what we fought for. Like you go back to the origins of America, it wasn't freedom for freedom's sake. Now there were those that were arguing that. Jefferson did. But then there were those like Adams that said, hey, the Bible says that we have a fallen nature and need to be ruled. Adams wanted Washington to be a king because he understood human nature and like we need to be ruled. But we had that baked into our system to an extent. And so when we look at slavery, we look at freedom within a biblical, like we struggle, I think, with these ideas. And that was the essence of trying to unpack that. Spice Daddy, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess just within the context of student loan stuff, I mean, I got a lot. And the average master's degree holder or graduate degree holder has about $100 and something thousand in debt, which I'm below that, thankfully.
You're below the 100 and something thousand. You're below the 100 of the something.
Right. But I still have enough to where I'm never going to be able to pay that back. And that kind of gets to me every day.
Yeah.
And especially when, I grew up in an era when everybody's saying, if you get a college degree, if you do this, you're going to be able to get a good job and all this, and none of that's ever happened.
Oh, I was right there with you. Buy a house. It's the best investment you can make.
Right.
I bought a house within a year later. It was the worst investment of my life.
Right. And
market crash.
And honestly, I've talked to you about this.
Yeah.
And I think most of the people of my generation and below feel lied to.
Yeah.
And used by the older generations, and it's angering. And then you talk to the older generations, and they're just dumbfounded by why we feel this way. And it's not that I don't want to pay back my student loans. I do. I want to get a job where I can do that and still have all the stuff. But
they wonder how in the world could anybody like Bernie Sanders?
Right.
No, I can totally I can get it. Or like AOC or Zoran Mandani, socialism. And you're like, you don't understand that there is a generation of people that have gotten screwed.
Yeah. Like everybody after you.
Yeah.
and
that's not a political statement.
Yes,
that's just an explanation.
Yeah. And I am, just to go further, like I'm fully against communism and socialism. Right. Like I've seen it in action, and it's the most evil thing on the face of the planet that I can see.
But capitalism isn't the greatest thing on the planet.
It's not. But again, I feel used and lied to, and I'm never going to be like.
Yeah.
For me, there's no hope of ever gaining wealth. I'm never going to get Social Security. I'm never going to. At this point in my life, I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to buy a house. Like I'll never there's lots of things that I'll never be able to do because I'll never be able to I don't think I'll ever be able to get a job to afford any of that stuff. I just saw an article recently where the average single person to be able to live comfortably has to make $106,000 a year just to live comfortably in this country.
That's wild.
It's dumb.
Let me add one thing, and this is to your credit. What's worse about it is that you would be in a better financial situation if you were willing to mooch off the government.
Yes.
Like so many people mooch off the government. But because you're not willing to do that, it puts you at a disadvantage.
And yes, it does. And
isn't that crazy?
Right. I want to pay off my debt. I want to be free.
You could have
that.
SNAP benefits. You could run down the gambit, right?
And that's not what I want to do. I want to work, and I work a lot, but I'll never be able to get a job to do the things that my parents and my grandparents in the previous generations had the opportunity to do. And there's millions of people in my same situation. Yeah. And until that generation either wakes up or dies off, it's going to keep getting worse. And maybe
but here's the thing. Our generation doesn't have enough financial stability to produce another generation to replace us. Right. So it gets worse.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I don't want to blame it on the previous generations, but I'm blaming it on the previous generations. And until
wait. I want to jump in. Okay.
But I understand the slavery part. And my main goal in life is whether or not I can serve my worldly masters, I have a heavenly master, which it takes higher precedence over even them.
So I want to, just for clarity, we don't blame the previous generation, like, because someone might internalize that and say, like, I didn't have anything to do with that crap. Like, it wasn't me. Like, again, I don't want, like, when one pastor does something stupid and they're like, pastors are blah, 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 take away their tax. Like, wait a second. One guy does something dumb. Like, let's not.
I'm not blaming it as a whole.
It's a system. There was an older system that treated the economy in such a way that the next generation entering the economy, it's a different world, and they don't fully understand that dynamic. I bought a house, my first house, for $160,000 in 2007, and within 10 months, this house that was the greatest investment you can make, buy a house, don't pay for an apartment, was worth $45,000. And they're like, oh, it'll come back. Well, it took 8 years. I was lucky to get out with nothing. And now I own a house that if I sold it today, I couldn't buy it tomorrow. Like, I literally could not buy my house tomorrow. Like, the house is the greatest investment you can make, which was like dogma.
Right.
Like you were saying, like, get a college degree. That's the best thing you can do. What are you talking about?
Right.
And that's where it's like, and again, I don't blame the previous generation, like our people.
Right.
Because they were just doing what they were doing, what they saw the previous
and
generation.
I guess
it's like, I mean, we are more enslaved than they were.
But I guess my point of saying that is my worldly life and my Christian life are two separate things, and the Christian life takes precedence. So no one, and this, I feel like this is biblical because it speaks about this, the slavery is whether I'm a slave here in the world, my master, ultimate master is Jesus, and that's who I serve, and he's going to take care of me no matter how much debt I'm in.
You know what would be hilarious? What would be hilarious? We get to the millennial kingdom, and you get to Jesus. You're like, hey, what's my assignment? He's like, well, you still owe $30,000 on that archaeology degree.
I'll get back to you though on that.
All right, Pope Creighton at X.
Yeah, I have worked for good bosses. I've worked for a literal psychopath.
Hey,
shout out
easy,
to Daryl.
easy. That was you were volunteer.
No, not you. No. I've worked for a guy named Daryl who was way worse than you. I'm gonna start naming you if you ever watch this because you're the worst.
I got real,
dude. He was anyway
at Pope Creighton. X.
No, the only way that I can see getting through, like, days like today, where I have
You had kind of a
great
rough day at
job,
work, right? Yeah.
it was just kind of a rough day, is if I am not working for the company I work for, or from my boss, or for one of my best friends who's technically my manager. Like, I'm not working for any of them.
It's Kyle's fault.
Kyle
messed
No,
you
I had
over.
actually very little interactions with Kyle
Let's just
today,
say
but
it's Kyle.
I'm not working for any of them. I'm working for Jesus.
Yeah, amen.
And we've talked about this before when I was working at my previous job, and there was a thing that I had to do every now and then, and I hated. And I don't know if you remember this conversation that we had, but I had
That was Chippendales, right?
I was working at this place, and it was
really
just
good
it was
in
the
my
worst. It was terrible. And after I got off work and I was really upset because it was a bad day, I went home and I watched a video from a guy who was talking about getting an axe from China and just being upset with the craftsmanship. And his whole deal was like, if you're going to make something, do your best on it, regardless of what you're making. And I felt really called out because I'd been so pissy about my work. And it's like,
And the axe you made that day was
right,
sucked.
exactly. But like whatever I do, I try to do it for Jesus.
Yeah,
And then
that's
I would do
great.
my best because I am working for Jesus regardless of what I'm doing.
Because he's your master.
Because he is my master,
Yeah, amen.
not the company that pays me.
Amen.
That is if it wasn't for that, boy, would I not go to work in the morning every day.
Right. Well, hey, before we tap out, I want to give you a quick second. Yes, Pope Creighton X. Explain your shirt.
Oh yeah. So this shirt, that's the wrong thing. This shirt I got from a.
Well, you're showing Justin first. You can show his shirt. It's a one of a kind.
He also has a really good shirt.
It's a one of a kind because 3Xs are not normal, so I buy him special hoods.
Hoodie.
Solid. So the shirt that I'm wearing is from a company called Abolitionist Rising. They have a great YouTube channel where they talk about abortion with normal people on the streets, and they explain how it's a horrible thing. And on the chest, it shows a picture of a fetus, and it says, "You were never just a clump of cells."
Oh, turn around, then read the back of it.
And
the
then
back's great.
yeah, so yeah, I'm going to show it to Vinny. So
People can't hear you.
Public service announcement. Women are not sex objects. Babies are not body parts.
it looks like this.
Yeah, you got it in there. Hey, it was catchy enough that Jessica came in before the show and was like, hey, what the heck is that?
Yeah, and the idea of it is people who are really into abortion love the idea that women should have the bodily autonomy not to be, used as sex objects, which I totally agree with because of course they should. But they're totally cool with taking the bodily autonomy away from unborn children and using them as body parts or throwing them away as body parts.
Yeah.
So the idea is women are not sex objects. Babies are not body parts. They're both people and you cannot treat them like objects.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
hit me
it.
out. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, man. Great show. Creighton, I love that. We'll have to put a link up to that website. If you're watching, thank you. That's very cool. Thanks for hanging with us, staying with us. If you're watching, check out our podcast. What you're watching is an audio podcast that gets released tomorrow. So the audio gets released, Apple, Google, Spotify. If you're listening to this, hang out with us on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We stream x.com/Zach Adams. And then we also stream facebook.com/The Radio Outlaw. And then mainly our YouTube channel is outlawradio.live. So it's very easy to find, outlawradio.live. Again, thank you for being with us. We'll see you guys next week. And we're going to do a special Christmas episode because it's actually the last episode for us for the year. We're going to take 4 weeks off. We got a lot of things going on with the church. Some family stuff, so we'll be taking 4 weeks off. But we're going to do a special episode. And we're going to call it the Ho Ho Ho's of Christmas.